Do you see anybody within the political system right now having the kind of political courage to genuinely say at this point, listen, we want all of you out. We want to just deal with our own issues. As Ahmed there said, Iraq has enough issues right now, especially with the pandemic and, as he put as well, the oil prices.
Well, the only people, or most of the people, or the politicians that do use that rhetoric, that they would like to have a sovereign land without any regional or international interferences, whether it be the U.S. or Iran, are usually people who don't have a really big say or policy influence in the governance. But most of the politicians from all the main political parties and coalitions and groups in the Iraqi governmental system do not admit that today. Most of them actually welcome either the U.S. presence or the Iranian presence, whether it be through the PMU forces or the U.S. military forces on its own military bases in Iraq. And that is one of the main, that takes us back to the whole point why the protests happened in early October. People were protesting against not just a government that had a lot of political and economic shortcomings on the people since 2003, but it's also because they feel they're not being represented by a political class that defends the sovereignty and the stability of the people of Iraq. Iraqis do not feel affiliated or associated with a government that cannot even stand up against whether it be the Iranian or the U.S. Military expansionism in the region. People even realize that even more through political parties or new joiners to the Iranian umbrella in Iraqi politics, which was Muqtada Sadr, who claimed for years to be an anti-Iran player in Iraqi domestic affairs and recently joined the Iranian umbrella, the Iranian political umbrella in Iraq just before the protests happened, and heavily and publicly did that even when the protests denounced his presence and his alliance with Iran against the Iraqi protests. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the Iraqi government or the parliament will be able to defend Iraq's sovereignty against any foreign interference or foreign military interference in Iraq, as long as it doesn't represent those people. People can be voting for a certain political coalition or party, but we end up having the same political parties creating their post-electoral negotiations to form their own majorities or to appoint people to be a prime minister or a speaker of parliament or a president based on the ethnic sectarian quota, which was established by the early stages of the invasion. So the issue here goes back to so many fundamental issues in post-2003 Iraq. It is the U.S. invasion, it is the U.S. continuous presence in post-2003 Iraq, and it is the Iranian opportunism through that invasion to mingle through Iraq's economy, society, and politics and spread its regional expansionism across the region, and having a government, as we previously mentioned, that doesn't represent the economic, political, and human rights of the Iraqi people.